Welcome to Why Not Us podcast. It's your host Ken J, and today I have my beautiful cousin Louise, and we'll be talking about her trip to West Africa. How are you feeling mentally today, cuz?
I'm feeling very well. Thank you for asking.
Most definitely, most definitely. So you just recently went on a trip to West Africa. So how was it? Like, what made you want to travel to West Africa?
One of the reasons I wanted to travel there, always wanted to go to the motherland. That was number one. But number two was I did a DNA search on my father. And one of the things that came back was 37% of his DNA came from the part of West Africa that I was visiting. And that was in the Ghana area and the Togo area, Cameroon. And I was like, wow, I would love to go there and see, do I see some people who look like my dad?
Okay.
But I'd always wanted to go. I'd gone to Egypt, but I'd never gone to West Africa. And I knew West Africa was one of the large areas for the slave trade back in the 1800s. And I just felt like I needed to go there and see, for myself and to see what it would do for me spiritually and mentally to be there. So that was one of the main reasons I went.
Oh, that's the amazing reason to go, just to know where we really came from.
Yes.
You taking that test, the DNA testing of Uncle Lewis,
Mhm.
and it brought you to West Africa. How did it feel to be connected to your roots when you went?
It felt really good because the people there not only remind me of people here, but the struggles they've gone through. And for instance, Ghana only got its independence in 1957, so it's a very young country. In the scheme of things, most countries, hundreds of years, thousands of years old. And to see the progression they've made up to date, they still have a long way to go. And even they will tell you that when they tell you their story. But the fact that they have their independence now and the way they're trying to grow their country, in a democracy where, you know, Ghana and many of the other countries in West Africa was dominated in many cases by Europeans, the Portuguese, the British, the Spaniards. It was so many Europeans dominated, the countries in Africa. And for them now to have their independence and watch and see how they're growing and watching them develop their democratic system, which is going to be very difficult for them because, even as a country, they got 16 different providence, and they still have in many of the communities, they still have, they're not called kings, but they're the tribal leaders in their communities. And to be able to function as a country, to have all of this, which is totally different from the United States having 50 states and governors and senators and all of that. And their country is still developing to some part of democracy where they can function with every community being able to talk to the next community, and you drive out of one community to another community, and the support system and whatever. So it was quite interesting. And just listening to the history, that them telling their own history, not the folks who occupied them telling their history, but listening to
Mhm.
them tell their history was, I mean, I will never ever forget the experience. And learning their culture, eating their food, and traveling throughout their country. It was quite amazing.
Man, I know it's amazing, and I'm just getting like chills just listening to it. Like, because they are really evolving into the democratic system, so it's gonna take a little minute for them to adjust.
I would say, another couple of hundred years even. Um,
Okay.
because when people look at the United States and how long it evolved, look where we are. But again, their country is 60 plus years old, so they got a long way to go to get to what our so-called standard is. And it really shouldn't be our standard. It really should be
Mhm.
theirs. You
Yeah.
know, they have to develop themselves where they can function and trade around the world and be able to survive and feed their people. They're the hardest working people I've seen. And that I've been around the world by being in the military. So to see how hard these people work for their everyday living, everybody is out there working, to the kids, the mothers, the fathers, everybody is contributing, to their livelihood. It was just amazing.
Wow. Wow. So when you was over in West Africa, what languages were they speaking? Like, was it what languages was it? Like the
Well,
native
and
tongue?
their native tongue, each province has their own little dialect,
Mm,
almost like the South, have a little drawl, and then you go up north and then they have a little different tone. Well, they had a different dialect in each province, but their basic language is supposed to be English. But everywhere you went, you found them talking their own little dialect.
okay.
We're in Togo because we went to Ghana, Togo, and Benin, and these are three countries that are right next to each other. They're side by side. Um, Togo and Benin, English was not their language. They had like 7 or 8 different languages that they spoke in the country.
Okay.
But the guide, of course, all spoke English. So whenever we went to any place touring, there was always English being spoken for us.
Okay. So with the different foods, right? The different
Mhm.
foods that you tried, like what was your
Mhm.
favorite food to try? Like what did you like eating while you was over there?
Well, I tell you, I had the best mango in the world. They have
I want a
mango trees
mango.
up and down the highway everywhere in every little market. I mean,
Oh
I love the
man.
mango, but I mean, they eat a lot of food similar to the Caribbean, especially um, Jamaican. A lot of their foods has a Jamaican flavor, and they use a lot of spices, so everything is hot. I
I
mean,
love
the rice is
that.
the rice is hot, the meat is hot, the fish is hot, and they eat a lot of fish. So I was able to eat, a lot of fish. But again, it was a lot of the Jamaican flavor. So the trip that I went on, it was 11 of us, and 7 of them were first generation Jamaicans, and there was 2 second generation Jamaicans. So they felt very at home there in Ghana because the food was similar, the vegetation was similar, the flowers was very similar. So, but the food was very tasty, and even the food on the streets where they warn you be careful. But I had all my shots and vaccines and all the required vaccinations to go into the country. So um, when the tour guide, whenever he would stop along the side of the road and would offer us things that we were not accustomed to eating, like perhaps like something that looked almost like a little small donut that was made from dough, but it
Mm.
had this crusty stuff on it that made it sweet but not overly sweet. But when he would say it's okay to eat it, I mean, this guy was our tour guide. I felt safe to eat it, and I didn't get sick. And but I really enjoyed the food, and I'm not a big rice eater, but God
Hmm.
knows they make the best fried rice, any kind of fried rice, beef fried rice, chicken fried rice, any kind of fried rice. They do a lot of plantains, and they've got this thing. They put these spices on the plantain, and I had never had that before, and it just did something to your palate. But I enjoyed the food, especially the fish, because when they serve fish there, if you got a baked fish, it had the whole head on it, and I wasn't accustomed to that. I'm used to that fillet stuff. So when they brought their whole fish out, I was like, okay, first of all, that's more than I can eat. Second of all, I don't like no eyes looking back at me. But after day 2, I had gotten used to it, so it was all good.
Okay. So, cousin Louise, did you eat the head? Did you
I
try
did
the
not. No, I just cut that part off and shoved it on the side of the plate and ate that part that was back there.
Okay, okay. Fish. I mean, I know they have a lot of fish in their food. I don't think that I'll be able to eat the fish because of bones. So I don't know. I
Well, I mean, the they have an art to the way they eat it. You know, they kind of
mm-hmm.
pull the skin off and then they pull the meat away from the bone and then they set the bone to a they had an art to it. And
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody get choked on no bones. You know, everybody was eating that fish and nobody got choked on the bones.
I had a bad experience with fish.
Oh
So,
no.
so yeah, I mean, I'm 38 years old.
You got to get over
You'll
that
think,
phobia.
yeah, I got to get over it. But, I'm going to get over it and I'm
Yeah.
going to eat that fish, but I'm going to
I
make
know
sure I
that's right.
cut the head off first, Cousin
Yes, I
Louise.
had to cut that head off. It had to go to the side of the plate.
So, was you able to go like near the Nile River and like by the
Well, no,
river?
that's not in that region, but
Okay.
we were in off their Arabian Sea area. We stayed in a place called Camp Coast, which
Okay.
is um I mean, in fact, in one of the hotels we stayed 5 days there, it was right there on the beach where the fishermen would go out and catch the fish and um um but I didn't, the water was too cold to go in the water, so I didn't go in the water. But
Okay.
yeah, we actually, and then there were several lakes
Okay.
throughout the country that we actually visited. But as far as the ocean, yeah, we did get to experience that. But the greatest thing was watching the fishermen go out in their
Mhm.
boats, because we were really close to this fishing village, and they would go out and do their catching, bring their catch in, and the people would be waiting there. They take it down to the market, so you know you're getting fresh stuff that's coming right out of the ocean.
That's amazing just seeing that for real. Like I'm visual everything that you're telling me, I'm like visualizing, like
Uh-huh.
feeling that energy
Yeah.
because
Well, yeah.
I want to go over there one day.
You need
I
to
really
take
want
that
to
trip.
go.
I think every Black person in America should go to some part of Africa. It doesn't have to be West Africa. South Africa is more commercialized, but West Africa, I mean, you get to see how the people really live because they had all these wonderful resorts that were on the beaches, but then some of the roads to get up to them, you know, like you riding along, the road is fine, and then all of a sudden he's these dirt roads and these rocks and this and that, and I'm like, okay, how do y'all get back here to these beautiful places that's back here on the water? But they figure it out. They, you know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't drive my car on those roads, but
Everybody, I see a couple people in the comment section. How y'all doing? Hey, fam, we are most definitely gonna we're most definitely going to go to Africa one day, fam. And you can talk to B. You most definitely can sing over there, fam. We're gonna go over there, and
yeah.
most definitely, I wanna have some mangoes because I've never like had mangoes like that, So it's
They
like
were
I want to
so
just
plentiful. They were so
yeah.
sweet and so good. And oh my God, I learned how to cut them right and how to slice and do them and just eat them out of the thing. Oh my God, I loved them.
So
I
you
love.
learn how to do everything like
Yeah,
with the mango,
yeah.
right?
Because here you're for years trying to cut a mango. You know, you got that big seed in the middle of the mango, and
Yeah.
when you try to eat it, you try to peeling it, and then you try cutting it, it won't come off. Well, you got to have the right knife. That's what I found out. If you got a good paring knife, you know, you cut this side, you cut that side, you cut this side, and cut that side, and then you put it like this flat, and then you cut it in squares and just peel it back and you just eat it right out of it. I mean, it's like
Uh,
juice running. Oh, girl, I'm getting.
Listen, when you going back, cuz? Like, when are you going back? When are you going back to the motherland? When are you going back? Do you know when you going back?
You know what? The tour guide that traveled with us the entire time has asked us to come back in 2 years, and he wants to make a plan with the group and say, well, come back every 2 years and we'll do something different. Like we didn't do a safari. A lot of people ask me, oh, you in West Africa, did you do a safari? No, I don't care about doing no safari. I do not want to be out there with the monkeys, you know, throwing stuff at me in my hotel. No, but there is an opportunity to do that. So the group said in a couple of years we go back, maybe we will add maybe 3 day of a safari to it. So there's so many different parts you can go to and so many different things you can do. Depends on what you and your group want to do.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So the resort that you was living at, y'all had like lights and it was like a regular hotel type vibe?
Well, okay. It varied. All right. I
Okay.
stayed in at least 6 different hotels because we were gone for 17 days.
Okay.
Um, one of the hotels was, I would consider it a 5-star hotel in Togo, which had, American style food, and it was on the ocean, and it was really, really, really nice. Then we stayed in one hotel up in the mountains. I was like, okay, I'm lathering down the mosquito spray and all that to keep from getting bit because mosquitoes like me. So the hotels varied. You
Okay.
you had, anywhere from a 1-star to a 5-star depending on where, but I'd like that though because it gave you a little bit of taste of everything, so
Yes.
you could have a whole lot of appreciation when you got to that
Mm-hmm.
5-star.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, most definitely. So it's kind
but
of like you
yeah,
operating in gratitude, like,
yeah.
you know what I
But I can
mean?
tell you though, some parts of the country, you can't drink the water. You have to use bottled water even to brush your teeth.
Oh.
So the things that we take for granted, a
Mm.
lot of those things they don't have. Running water and bathrooms, and we went to some places that it was a challenge, and I was like, okay, I haven't done this since back in the country days,
Mm.
50 years
Okay.
ago.
Got
But
you. Got you.
but then there were other parts that was modern. So it was a little bit of everything.
Okay. Okay. My mom and my dad just asked, how was the weather when you went to Africa? How was
You
the
know what?
weather?
We had some really good weather. I don't remember it raining. We went. I guess the time of year we went was really good. It was warm when we did some of the challenging things. Like one of the things we did was we hiked up to this what they call the Wee Fall, which is one of the highest falls in West Africa. So I mean that particular day it felt a little warm, and we went through the jungle, and then we had to hike up this mountain, and it felt really warm there. But the humidity was different because I was coming out of Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and the humidity was different, and I was comfortable.
Okay.
Something just
Okay.
popped up on the screen. Let me move that out of my way. Okay. Oh no, what happened? Okay,
I still see
there you
you.
go. There you go. Something my printer popped up on the thing.
Yeah, I still
But
see you. So
but, but yeah, the weather was good, and I mean
okay.
I was not. In fact, when I got back to Florida, it was hotter in Florida than it was there in Ghana. I enjoyed
Okay.
the weather. I enjoyed it, and they do everything outside. Like every just about every meal we had was outside. They eat their lunch outside. They eat dinner at night outside, which I wasn't accustomed to. I'm running inside for the air conditioning, but they they did a lot of it outside, and they had fans and stuff, so it was comfortable. It was very
Yeah.
comfortable.
And they eat a lot with their fingers.
Oh yeah, they're oh my goodness, that they can eat soup with their fingers. I mean, I had never seen anything like it. They can, they have this stew that they make, and they sit down and they have this dough thing. They stick it
Mm-hmm.
in the dough and they stick their fingers right in it. And I was like, okay, but for us, they knew we were Americans. Everywhere we went, they brought us forks.
Okay, okay. So you tried the fufu and like the goosey?
Oh, you heard of the fufu?
Yeah, so
I did.
that's
I didn't
yes.
eat the fufu, but people in my group ate it, and it takes a long time to make fufu. So
Yeah.
everywhere you went, if they had fufu, they would tell
Mm-hmm.
you it's going to be an hour and a half or 2 hour wait because they cook everything from scratch.
Yeah.
No, I didn't eat the fufu.
Yeah, because I want to try the fufu actually and try maybe some agusi and I just want to just do something like different culture. So that's what I want to try. A lot of people have opinions of
Uh-huh.
fufu. It's kind of like bland and it's like yam. So
No,
it's kind of like
no,
so
no. When they brought it out, it looked really good, but I had ordered something else, so I didn't get it. But
okay.
the people in my group, a couple of people ate it more than once.
Okay.
But again, everywhere we went, because they had everything planned for your meals or whatever, if you wanted that, then you had to tell the guide like long before we get there, so they could prepare it, because they prepare everything by hand. But speaking of Africa, I was told, I think it's either Rocky Mount or somewhere there, they have a big festival every year. Um, you might want to check that out. And I think it might be in Rocky Mount, where they
Okay.
have a big festival every year where they bring out all the different food and the different cultures, because there's a large population of Africans that live in that area.
Oh, in Rocky Mount? I never knew
I
that.
was told Rocky Mount. Somebody mentioned it
Okay.
on the tour. Yeah.
Okay. Most definitely. I gotta check that out for real,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
So was a lot of people would, cause a lot of people was like walking without shoes on, or how was that? Like, was it real muddy?
No, well, you know what? Believe it or not, you would have felt at home in some of those areas, because there was a lot of areas with red dirt, just like North Carolina.
Yeah, yeah,
It was a
yeah.
it was a lot of areas with red dirt, but most of them wore sandals, except when you went out to some of the rural villages.
Mm-hmm.
The kids, of course, and some of the adults, everybody's running around without shoes. And I got to have something on my feet, so I had some sandals or some flip flops on all the time, or tennis shoes. But yeah, in some of the smaller villages, yeah, they would run around without shoes.
Yeah, cause I would like to actually cause when I was younger I used to run around the yard and everything without shoes on and different things like that. And the way is kind of like grounding.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, what about your spiritual? Like how did you say you was basically going for enlightenment? Like, do you feel enlightened from
I,
that or
you know what? I tell you what I felt when I felt very grateful and had a lot of gratitude when I went to
mm,
what they call the door of no return. And this was the area where the slaves passed through uh, their last, before they got on the ships to come to the Americans.
yeah.
And when I say Americans, because a lot of people think the slaves only came to North America. That is not true. In fact, more slaves went to Brazil and to South America than came to the United States. And I found out all this again by looking up the history and also talking to the people there. A lot of times we think, because we are very bitter about slavery, as we should be, because our people were oppressed and abused and killed. Um, but a lot of the slaves also went to some of these other places as well. But my spiritual self was grounded when they take you down into the where the slave quarters were, and above those slave quarters was actually the Portuguese or the Brits were having church service above, where they had us down in dungeons laying side by side waiting to get on slave ships. So it really did something to your heart. I was like, you know what, I am so grateful for the life that I do have, even though we need a lot of changes and a lot of things need to be done and need to be corrected. But that's everywhere around the world. There's no perfect thing down here on this earth. Um, so it grounded me. I'm a spiritual person anyway. I don't
Sure.
consider myself a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of really, it just reinforced, my gratitude for
Yes.
the life that I've had.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is, cousin Louise. Is it's not more. It's just it's about a
Mm-hmm.
you thing, an inner thing. So it's
Yes.
kind of like I feel that whole vibe.
Yep.
It's more of spiritual, more
Mm-hmm.
of connection.
Yes.
So that's the whole vibe of it. You know what I'm saying? It's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm just excited to even
Mm-hmm.
be talking about Africa right now with you, cause
Yeah.
like
Get a
for
group of your
real.
get a group of your friends. You don't want to go by yourself, but if you get a group and you can get one of these tour groups like we had, and this this our guide took us everywhere we went. All of our meals were included.
Yeah.
Um, all our hotels, everything was included. So the only thing you really had to do was, additional was to pay for your flight. So and he was with us everywhere. I mean, meet us in the morning, with us all day, and we were out all day. It's not no, okay, we're just gonna lounge around today. We were busy doing something every day, and I liked that because it
Yeah.
kept your mind going and it kept you going, and and you could get the whole experience. So you definitely gotta go.
Yeah,
You gotta go.
2B just told me let's go next year, sis. Hey, we could go. I already got my passport, man. So I
I
already
know
got
that's
my passport. I've been had my passport for about 3 years now. So hey, I'm down
Mhm.
for whatever. Like for real, we
Mhm.
gotta live life. So
Absolutely.
most definitely, like I just love the fact that he was just talking about gratitude, because gratitude is essential, cousin Louise.
Hmm.
And it's like, everything that I have in front of me, I'm grateful for. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Instead of
Yeah.
just wanting more and wanting more,
Mhm.
I'm just grateful for what I have in front of me. So
Mhm.
like I said, like gratitude is essential. I'm glad that it was an amazing time for you. And
Mhm.
so, like, what advice would you give to people that has never traveled abroad?
Mhm.
So what advice would you give us that wants to travel, like, go to Africa? Like, what
I
advice would you give?
I would say, open up your horizons and don't be afraid of new things. Sometimes we here in America, we get so used to doing things the way we do it. We go like, well, I don't want to go do nothing different. Open up your horizons and open your mind up to something different. Because I believe every day you should learn something new. So if you go
Yes.
to a place like that, you're gonna learn some new stuff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can do research before you go and have your questions all lined up, but it's a new experience. I would say don't be afraid of new experiences, you know.
Most definitely, most definitely.
And it's nothing wrong
Um,
with sitting down charting it out for a few years and say, okay, in 2024 I want to go to West Africa, and then by 2026 I want to go this place or that place. Chart it out, get out there,
yes.
enjoy your life, live every day like it's your last day, because it could be.
Oh, you exactly right, and that's what I do. So that's why I'm sitting here happy, smiling, good
Mhm.
energy. Because energy is frequency. So that I'm on the highest vibration, that's of love. So,
Ooh,
um,
girl,
you
say
know,
it again. Say
yeah.
it
So
again.
so so that's what I'm of, love and light. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? No
Yeah.
more a scarcity mindset, just of abundance.
Mhm, mhm,
So yeah, everything that you're saying, I'm taking in, I'm soaking in. It's all about the
mhm,
energy with
mhm,
me. And
mhm.
so, like I said, I'm ready to go to Africa.
Yes, because when you exert out good energy, you're gonna get
Yes.
good energy back. Okay?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. You know that. You feel me?
Yeah.
You get that. You
Mhm,
get that. You understand that. That's what it is. Just being on a good
mhm,
frequency.
mhm,
Just putting good energy out. Like, it's so
mhm.
easy to do. Like,
Yes, yes. It is so much easier to be kind than it
yes.
is to be mean. It takes work to
Hmm.
be mean.
Yeah,
Okay?
it takes work. It takes
It
work
takes
to be
work.
mean, and it takes work to be something that you're not. And it
Right.
just it just take work, work, work. Just take the
Yeah.
mask off and
Yes.
just be free.
Yeah, but it's so easy to be kind and give
Yeah.
off what you want to receive. If you do that
Yes.
every day, give off what you want to receive, you're gonna get most of that back.
Yes. 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 That's the energy right there. My
Mhm.
mom said that LJ is ready to go to Africa, because LJ told my mama last night that he wanted to go to Africa.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
So LJ wants to go to Africa. I
Mhm,
told him I was having a talk to you today. So of
mhm,
course he'll
mhm,
be ready to listen to this today when he get out of school, him and Lori.
mhm.
So,
I
anybody
don't
got any questions?
I don't know. We might have to do a family trip now. I don't know. We might get some
Hey,
people on board.
hey, cuz, you know what I really want to do? I really want to go to the safari. Like, I'm scared, but it's like I
Mhm.
want to go.
Mhm. Oh, you'll be protected. I haven't heard of any disasters or anything. So it was just me. Only reason I didn't want to do that because the mosquitoes love me, and I'm like, okay, I do not want to be their smorgasbord.
Yeah, because the mosquitoes, the mosquitoes love good energy. It gotta
Oh
be
my
the energy. So all the mosquito bites that we used to get, is
God.
our energy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even get bit. So it must be something wrong with their energy. So
Listen, I could be in a crowd. Nobody gets bit but me. Nobody.
anybody have any questions to ask cousin Louise about her trip? Y'all can ask the questions. I appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Hope everybody's feeling good. It's a beautiful day, man. It's a beautiful day to be alive.
It
Y'all got
is.
any questions? Y'all can ask the questions. Don't be scared. Y'all can ask what y'all need to ask. So I got another question to ask before, we'll see what the people gonna ask. Before you went to Africa, was it tests that we had to take? Different shots we had to take before we go over there, or
Yeah, yeah. You, in order to go to, what you have to do is go to any place that you're going to visit outside of the country. You go to the CDC, the Center of Disease Control. Go to their website and type in whatever country you want to go in, and then they will tell you what the requirements are as far as the shots. For me, going to Ghana, you had to have the yellow fever shot, which is a very expensive shot. But
okay?
thank God I got mine through the military, so I didn't have to pay for it.
Won't he do it?
Yes, yes, won't he do it? And then there's like they recommend the hepatitis shot, but like I said, if you go to the CDC website, and you should do that anywhere you're going, especially if you're going to a third world country.
Okay.
You should always see what the requirements are to make sure you do that. Otherwise, they won't let you in country because when you go through customs, the first thing they asked you, they wanted your shots for of course coronavirus. So you had to have those. You had to have your shot records for yellow fever. And also, when you go into these countries, you also have to go to their website for their embassy because a lot of them require you to have visas to come in, which means you have to
Okay.
send your passport to Washington, D.C. in order to get your visa to go to these different countries. So all of
Okay.
that you do in advance, so you don't get there to the airport and they won't let you on the plane.
Yeah, I wanted to also ask you, did we need a visa? And you
Yeah,
just, you
yeah,
just cleared that up for us.
yeah.
I got a question in the audience. Did you experience a culture shock when you went to let me see. Did you experience a culture shock?
I wouldn't say it was a culture shock. I say it was a culture experience, because they do things differently. Um, for instance, did I tell you that I got my that I had an experience where we went to this village, and the village chief, we had this ceremony where they gave all of us in the group African names.
No, you didn't tell me.
Oh, I have an African. Let me see. Can I? I don't know. Can you see this?
Hold
Oh no.
on. Let me see. Yes, I do see it. It says opinion. I don't know the name. What's the name? What does it say? Adiodio Fakwa.
Fuqua.
What? Fakwa.
Fuqua.
Okay. Fukwa. Fukwa. Fukwa.
I know people laughed at me when I told them what
I
my name is.
like it.
They said you better be careful because somebody might misunderstand you saying something else.
You see?
But no, I didn't have a. It wasn't a culture shock. It was a culture experience because they do things differently there. But I expected that. And I appreciate that their culture is different. And each time I tried to respect their culture. And I can tell you one thing, or just came into my head. One of the things I read before I went there, and I'm glad I did, was um, you never use your left hand to touch or shake hands with the people in Ghana. They have a
Okay.
thing about that. The left hand is considered not clean, so you always would shake hands or greet somebody with your right hand because the left hand was used for cleaning the body, so it wasn't considered a
Mm,
clean hand. And I'm like,
got you.
if I hadn't read that before I got there, that would have been like, okay, I might have, they probably gave me the side eye because I did something and didn't understand
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
culture. That was just one thing that just jumped in my head.
Yeah, because you know, some people say don't shake with the left because it's disrespectful. So, in a
Yeah.
sense, it's kind of like, you know, the hand is dirty because I guess that's how they clean their body. But I'm
Yeah.
glad you did research on that.
Yep. I looked it up before I left because I wanted to read as much as I could before I went. So, I could be, culturally correct.
Got you, got you. Anybody else have any more questions? Anybody else have any more questions before I close it up? Y'all already know the vibes and how we do for real. Cousin Louise, I appreciate you for coming to the platform.
I thank you
You
for
know,
having me.
thank you so much. You know, with the Why Not Us podcast, this is what we do. It's all about just being able to educate people, being able to uplift people, being able to bring awareness to mental health, just being the voice for the voiceless.
Mhm. I appreciate what you do. I mean, my hat's off to you, and I ain't got nothing but love for you, baby.
You
And
already, hey, you know the vibes, cuz. You know the vibes. You amazing, man. You are so amazing.
I
So
know
I love you.
I love you too, darling.
I appreciate you. And
Give everybody
yeah.
my love. I told you I'm going to be there on your way tomorrow.
Okay.
Um, and so I don't know how far Dunn is away from where you are. I don't think
I'm
it's that far.
I'm in Connecticut right now.
Oh, you in Connecticut, girl? You
Yeah,
go.
I'm still up here. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'm up here with my partner. So yeah, I'm
I'll,
still up
I'll
here.
call Lori and LJ.
They you okay? You said you don't call Lori. You said how are they doing, Lori and LJ?
No, I'm gonna call them while
All
I'm
right.
down there.
Yeah, most definitely call them.
All right,
Most
baby
definitely call
girl.
it. All right.
Bye, everybody. Love you.
Peace and blessings. I love you too.
All right, darling.
All right.
Bye-bye. I don't know how to sign out, but I know you take care.
What you wanna be, see what you wanna see, go where you wanna go. Oh, why not? Why not us? Why not us? Why not? Why not us with Ken J? Why Not Us podcast with Ken J.